Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be update number 2 to my Pandas eyeshadows. So I have 5 different palettes in here and 1 single in at a time. So obviously 1 shade from each palette. Everything I do is completely random. I don't have any usage goals. So my whole goal is to just hit pan, obviously. So I hit pan on 1 thing this month. So 1 new palette slash shade will be rolling in. I didn't hit pan on the single shadow, so a new single won't be rolling in, just a new palette. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. The first one I've been working on since the intro. This is from Revolution. This is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Chili palette. So this is what it looks like. You might can tell which shade I'm working on. It's this gold kind of in the middle here. It does have a really nice dip in it. You can't tell, but I kind of kept thinking I would hit pan. Can you see the dip? But I never did. So let's see. It's this true yellow gold shade right here. That's how yellow it is. Well, try not to get there it is right there. It's called Contest. So I have used that one a total of 21 times over the past like 2 months, a little over 2 months, I think. So I think that would be the next one I hit goal on. But that is that shade right there, just a true yellow gold color. So I use it for my warm tone look, so 21 uses on that. Okay, the next thing I have in here was also from Revolution. This is the Revolution times Powerpuff Girls Buttercup palette. So it is a green palette for the most part. So you might be able to tell which one I was using as well. And it's this light green shade right here in the top corner. I have used this 9 times. I know it looks like the outline is there, but there is a dip in it. There's a dip kind of off to this side over here. It's just this like pastel yellow color. I mean, pastel green color. This is one you have to kind of like build up. So like I used it today, but it's kind of under some grays now. I did use it today. It's not vibrant or bright at all, so you really do have to build it up, but that's it. It's kind of chalky too. But there is a dip in it. I've used it 9 times. Hopefully as Easter comes around, since it's a nice like pastel color, it would help. But yeah, I'm trying to get it to where you can see the dip, but you can't really see a dip. I can feel it with my brush and with my finger. But that's it right there. So it's staying in. Let's see. Okay, next one is the one that has a ton of use on it, but it's staying in here as well. By the way, I will put progress pictures on at the end so you can see like over the months the dip forming. So this one is the Balm, the Shady Lady palette. And this is what it looks like. And I have this top middle shade right there. It's called Shameless Shanna. There is a dip in it. Can you tell? I'll try to turn it every way I can. But it's kind of just this like warm toned medium brown shade. Maybe like, I would call it like a cinnamon shade because it has this kind of like goldness to it, but I still use it as a matte. Anyways, I'll swatch it. This one I've probably used the most in this whole project so far. I can't believe you can't see the dip on camera because you can definitely see it in real life. I have used that one 34 times over 2 months. So obviously it's like a really easy, like everyday shade. Here it is right here. I just use it as a matte, even though it does have that like satin shimmer to it. But yeah, that pan is just like extremely hard pressed, like 34 times. And like, I mean, the dip is getting there, but like, ugh, wow. These are really, really, really hard pressed. Like it took like 20 uses before a dip even formed. It's crazy. You'll see it in the progress pictures at the end though. So I use that 34 times. Okay, now to the one I hit pan on. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. If you saw last month's update, you probably assumed I was gonna hit pan on this month, and I did. I used it as a lid setting shade. So it was this pan right here called Peaches and Cream I was using. There is the pan. I used it a few times after. As you can tell, like I did a huge like dip in this pan all the way around. Like there's a huge dip in it. Once again, I used it as a lid setting shade, and it did have a dip on it when I started because I used to use this palette all the time, as you can tell. I used this 27 times. Honestly, it was probably a few more times because I did expand the pan a bit. But yeah, 27 times to hit pan. But it did already have a dip in it. So I know Too Faced shades are really hard to hit pan in. But yeah, actually I hit pan on this like 3 days after my last update, which I kind of knew was going to happen because the dip was so huge last month. Okay, now for my one single in this project right now. It is a ColourPop Super Shock, a matte shade in the shade Girl Crush. And it is this like taupey gray. It's kind of like purpley gray color. Let me swatch that last one, I forgot to, even though it's a lid setting shade. Here it is right there. Maybe a bit of a peachy lid setting shade. There it is. Right there. Okay, now for this Super Shock, I'll show you again up close. I've used this 3 times this month. And that's because when I do these like cool tone looks, I totally forget about this because I like to use it as an eyeshadow base. By the time I remember it, it's like too late. So there it is right there. I'll put the single on this side. There is, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of cream eyeshadows as it is. And then on top of that, it's like a matte. So it makes it even harder to use than like, than like a shimmer cream shadow. But there it is. So that's the shade Girl Crush. I used it 3 times. I know they're easy to hit pan on, but I didn't want to dig into the middle. I just want to try to use it evenly. Okay. Lastly, the 5th palette that was in here is this huge Jeffree Star Cosmetics Conspiracy palette. It's literally huge. It takes up like half of my eyeshadow drawer. And let's see. Okay, I didn't write, oh, I did write down the shade. No, I didn't. But the shade I rolled in last month was this top corner one up here. What's it called? Spiraling. So does it look any different? Not really, but it is extremely pigmented and powdery. So when you kind of dip your brush in, like a bunch of powder kicks up, and I kind of use that powder kick up. But there is a little disturbance kind of at the top of the triangle maybe. But yeah, it is that really pretty. It's kind of like a brownish gray. Once again, there's shimmer in it, but I use it as a like deepening shade. Oh, I should have showed you. Okay, here you go. Can you see how much powder that has on it? Just from swatching it. It is very pigmented, like a really good like shade for sure. Like good quality. So here it is right there. Oops. Kind of, like I said, it kind of has this brown tone base to it, which is pretty interesting, but that is called spiraling, and I used it 4 times. So once again, I don't know, I just want to wear like light spring colors right now, and I keep getting these warm tones and dark shades, but I'll figure out a way to use them. So I've used that 4 times. And like you can tell, there's hardly the slightest, no, there's not a dip. There's barely a disturbance. That's what I meant. But yeah, that's what the whole palette looks like, by the way. So, okay. I do get to roll in one palette though. I'll show you how big that one is next to all the others. Okay. Now let's do... Let me flip to my list of eyeshadow palettes. Okay. And I have in this 1 through 238. So I'm just going to roll it once, of course. So 139. Okay. Let's see what that is. I think, I've said this before, ColourPop takes up the big majority of this, but ColourPop ends at 64, so it's not a ColourPop, it's not a Revolution, because that's my next biggest category, and it ends at 106. So I got 139, so that's gonna be a different brand. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, wow, we're rolling out a Too Faced palette to roll in another Too Faced palette, and I'm scared because you know how long these take, and this is a new palette to me. This is the Too Faced Better Than Chocolate palette. Actually, I think that one's brand new. Yikes. I'm gonna grab that and be right back. Okay, everyone, I'm back, and I have the one palette I rolled in. This is the Too Faced Better Than Chocolate. Funny story about this palette is I went to the cosmetic company store, and if you know what that is, it's like the Estee Lauder store of like overproduced items and like discontinued items and stuff. And they have them in a lot of outlet places. Anyways, I went there one time and I literally got one of their like $5 MAC lipsticks because like they have every company that Estee Lauder owns. So they have like MAC, Jo Malone, Tom Ford, and like Smashbox, Too Faced, a bunch of ones like that. Anyways, I bought a $5 MAC lipstick that they do sometimes, and with any purchase that day, they were giving away these Too Faced palettes for free. So they like put it in my bag, and I thought that was so funny because like that must mean they had like a huge influx of these palettes. But yeah, I got this for free with a $5 purchase. And yeah, it is brand new and untouched because that was very recently. So I've never even swatched it. I just took it out of the box. It's literally unswatched. So, there's 18 shades in here. I've already put 1 through 18 in. Since this is going to be a short video, I'll just kind of talk about, I wouldn't mind getting this, really light shimmer up here. This shimmer, this blue shimmer, this purple shimmer would be perfect for spring. That's probably the one I want to get the most. Or maybe one of these light tan blending shades. The one I really don't want to get is this gold up here because I'm tired of gold and I still have a gold in. But let's just go ahead and see what I'm going to get. I maybe wouldn't even mind this dark purple. No, I don't want the dark purple either because I have that dark gray in. Anyways, 1 through 18. 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is pretty good. I like this one. So this is the shade up here, number 5, called Ooey Gooey. So it is kind of this light champagne shade. I'm gonna swatch it in a second, but that's it right there. So it is one of the lighter shimmers in this palette, so that'll be good. See what Ooey Gooey looks like. There is right there, so it does kind of have a goldness to it. It's not as champagne as it looks in the pan. Let me swatch it across the top. Okay, now it's swatched on my hand. It does kind of have like a champagne pink-ish tint to it. So it's up here. There it is. Definitely lighter than the gold, which is, maybe I'll use this as like one shadow looks too. It'll work with the warm tones. I don't think it'll work with the cool tones, but I am going to try it because it does have some pink to it. I swatched it sideways like that. So yeah, let's see. I know I'm not going to hit pan on it anytime soon because Too Faced shades are so hard to hit pan on, but that is Ooey Gooey from the Better Than Chocolate palette. I'm surprised. I don't even have that many Too Faced palettes. I'm surprised I've gotten 2 in 3 months in this project. I haven't even got a ColourPop one. That's like a third of my collection. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'm super excited about that. Looks like it has some gold and pink and silver flecks to it. So that will be my new color story. And I will be back in a month with an update and hopefully a pan in this gold and hopefully a pan in the Super Shock shadow. Thanks for watching. Bye.